Welcome back to another episode of OET Bank, the space where we help healthcare workers like you prepare for your overseas careers. Whether you're aiming for Australia, the UK, Singapore, or Canada, English communication is the key that unlocks those doors. Today, we're focusing on practical strategies. What do you actually say in the exam room? How do you structure your role play? And how do you show the examiner that you are not just fluent in English, but also safe, supportive, and professional in your communication? So grab a notebook or just relax with a coffee, and let's make the clinical communication criteria feel simple and maybe even enjoyable. Before we dive into strategies, let's remind ourselves of the 5 areas examiners are checking during OET speaking: relationship building, understanding and incorporating the patient's perspective, providing structure, information gathering, and information giving. In real clinical practice, the big goal is accurate diagnosis and management. But in OET, the main question is different. The examiner is asking, can this person communicate in a way that makes patients feel respected, listened to, and informed? So, instead of thinking, I need to solve the case, think, I need to show empathy and structure. That shift in mindset is what separates average candidates from high-scoring candidates. Let's talk about a common fear. Many candidates worry, what if I don't finish the task card? Will my score drop? The answer is no. Task completion is not a criterion. You are not scored on whether you tick every single box on the roleplay card. The tasks are prompts, they guide the interaction. But your score comes from how you communicate. So here's the practical takeaway. If you can cover most of the tasks, great. But if one item is too complex, or you run out of time, it's fine to skip or reframe it. Let's say the card asks you to explain the pathophysiology of a condition, and you suddenly blank. Instead of panicking, you could reframe, in simple terms, what's happening is that your body is struggling to, or if you truly can't explain, redirect to empathy. I can understand this is worrying. The important thing is that we'll manage it step by step. You're still demonstrating structure, empathy, and clarity. Think of the task card as a map. You don't have to visit every street. As long as you show the examiner you know how to navigate, you'll do well. Now, let's talk about structure, the flow of the consultation. In most cases, the natural arc looks like this. A polite greeting. The patient shares their symptoms, often with emotion. You do history taking and information gathering. You explain diagnosis or treatment. And then you check understanding. It's a gentle journey, not a race. And 2 stages are absolutely crucial. Relationship building at the start, and information gathering in the middle. If you miss those, your performance will feel rushed or mechanical. Let's picture 2 different openings. Candidate A walks in and says, "How can I help you?" That's technically polite, but it's abrupt. Candidate B says, "Hello, my name is Dr. Lee. Could I confirm your name, please? And how are you feeling today?" Which one makes you relax? Obviously, candidate B. And the examiner will feel the same. Now, after that rapport, don't skip history taking. Even if the card doesn't say, ask questions, you should. If the patient says, I've had chest pain, don't jump straight into an explanation. Ask, when did the pain start? Or, does anything make it worse or better? That shows thoroughness, and it makes your later advice sound more credible. Let's get into the toolkit, the actual phrases you can practice. For polite greetings, "Hello, my name is Dr. Name. Could I confirm your name, please?" Or, "Hi, patient's name. How are you feeling today?" For reassurance early on, please feel free to stop me if anything isn't clear. Or, before we start, do let me know if you have any questions. For comprehension checks later, does that make sense to you? Or, are you following so far? Or, would you like me to go over that again? Notice how these phrases are short, simple, and supportive. Don't just read them once. Practice them in different role plays until they come out automatically. That way, in the exam, you won't need to think, you'll just say them. And here's another point. Slow down. Many candidates think speaking quickly shows fluency. In fact, it often lowers clarity. A calm rhythm gives you time to think and helps the patient feel at ease. Here's a secret about OET speaking. The early part of the consultation, greeting and information gathering is almost always the same. First consultation, follow-up visit, re-examination, it doesn't matter. You'll still start with rapport, then clarifying questions. That means you can memorize a reliable opening script. For example, "Hello, my name is Dr. Name. Could I confirm your name? Thanks. Patient's name. And how have you been feeling recently? I'd like to ask you a few questions to better understand what's going on." That sequence works in almost any role play. Imagine how powerful that is. You walk into the exam room knowing the first 30 seconds are completely under control. That reduces anxiety. And it frees your brain to focus on the unique parts of the scenario, the diagnosis, the treatment, the patient's concerns. It's like having a safety net. Even if your mind goes blank, those practice lines will carry you forward. Let me share a couple of bonus tips. Tip 1. Balance time. Don't spend too long at the start. 10 to 20 seconds for rapport is enough. If you go over, just balance it later with quicker explanations. Tip 2. Empathy beats detail. If you ever feel stuck, lean on empathy. Say things like, "I can see this is worrying you," or "That must be uncomfortable." These phrases are short, but they tick the relationship building box instantly. Tip 3. Practice aloud. Reading silently won't prepare you. You need to hear your own voice. Even 5 minutes a day of role play out loud will make a huge difference. So let's bring it all together. The OET speaking test isn't about a perfect diagnosis. It's about patient-centered communication. You don't need to finish every task card. Focus on empathy and clarity instead. Use a simple structure. Greeting, information gathering, explanation, comprehension check. Practice polite greetings and supportive phrases until they're automatic. And remember, the early flow of the consultation is always similar. Nail that part, and you'll walk into the exam with confidence. When you start to see the test this way, the clinical communication criteria stop feeling scary. Instead, they become a checklist you can use to guide yourself, almost like a friend reminding you, yes, you've built rapport. Yes, you've explained clearly. Yes, you've checked understanding. That's it for today's episode of OET Bank. Thanks so much for listening. Remember, strong English skills are essential for success, but even more important is the way you connect with patients. So, if you're studying English to work globally, or aiming for an overseas healthcare career, reach out to OET Bank for support. We've got resources, practice tools, and guidance designed specifically for international healthcare workers like you. Until next time, keep practicing, keep building your confidence, and I'll see you in the next episode.